writing my first novel. It has been such an interesting process, grueling at times and magical at others. And I think that that perfectly sums up the creative process. It is something that is so magical. It's really difficult to put into words, especially when you're in that flow state and things are coming so naturally. And it's also a grueling, difficult, painful experience as you overcome your demons and really push yourself to create, especially on the days that you don't feel like it. One thing I've learned while writing this novel is that you have to show up every day. You have to be willing to set the table for art and allow it to come in. On some days, it's not going to come in the way you expect it to, and on other days, it comes in better than the ways you expected. Either way, you have to be willing to show up for the process. If you're not going to show up for the process, then nothing is going to happen. Rather show up for your creativity in small ways every single day, rather than not showing up at all because you think you need all the time in the world. Because the truth is that you have to believe that your creativity and your art is worthy enough to show up to and worthy enough for you to commit time to. I think that has been one of the number one things that I've learned while writing this novel. And of course, I'm still writing the novel. I'm actually nowhere near done, and this is just a first draft. But what I've learned is that I am worthy enough to show up to. My art and my creative vision and this book that I really, really want to write is worthy of me spending time creating and doing every single day, no matter what. And it gets really difficult and it gets really hard, especially when life gets in the way. But I've made a commitment to myself to show up regardless. So like I said, showing up in small ways has been a fundamental part of this writing process. Because what I've realized is that you write a novel by writing a couple hundred words every single day. A novel doesn't get written in one day. It gets written over time. So if you think about it, writing 500 words a day, by the end of the year, you have a novel. And I think that that is so special, so magical, and it's really shown me the importance of dedicating small chunks of time to my creative vision. So I thought it would be wonderful to take you along with me today on a cozy writing vlog. I'm going to be writing, I'm going to be reading, I'm going to be doing all the things that I love. As always, wellness and spirituality are a major part of my life. I love to weave magic into every single thing that I do. Nurturing my mind, body, and soul is something that is so important to me. I always think that my art thrives when I am allowing time and space for the magic to come in, and all of that shows up in my art. All the ways I nurture myself, whether it's yoga, meditation, copious amounts of tea, oracle cards, journaling, all of that shows up in my art. All of that makes me a better artist and makes me a better writer. When I nurture myself on a mind, body, soul level, I'm able to show up better for myself and for my creative passion. So writing this novel has taught me so much, and I'm so excited to continue working on it and see where it takes me. And I'm also just taking a chance on myself. I'm doing my master's in creative writing. I've always wanted to be a writer. Writing this novel is so in alignment with me, but it's also really scary because I don't know what's gonna happen to it. I don't know if it's good enough. I don't know if it's gonna go anywhere. Writing this novel, even though it is in alignment with me, is also extremely scary because I don't know what's going to happen. But what's beautiful about the process is to kind of shut out that outside noise that wants to know what's going to happen and just focusing every single day on the micro. There's no point worrying about the macro, worrying about the future before you've even got there. So I don't want to spend my time worrying about the future, worrying if I'm going to be published, worried if people are going to like it, worried if I'm even going to be able to make writing a sustainable thing for me. I'm not going to worry about that. The only thing that I need to worry about right now is showing up every day for myself as a creative, because that is such a powerful skill that I'm building. And it's something I'm anyway going to need in the future as a writer. So I'm building these small steps and habits now so that they can help me in the long run. And again, it doesn't matter what's going to happen. When we start focusing way too much on the future, that's kind of when anxiety gets in the way, and that's when you let your fear stop you, because you're stopping yourself from doing something based on your ideas about the future. But the truth is that We don't know what's going to happen in the future. And so it's really important to just focus on the now, focus on the present moment, and commit to your art regardless. That is such an important thing, and it's going to make you so happy when you show up every day for yourself and show up every day for your creative practice. I hope that you enjoy this cozy video. Let's get into it. Been writing for a while now, and I can feel that my brain is starting to turn to mush, so I think it is time for me to have a break. I'm struggling a lot with this chapter, just trying to figure out where I want it to go and if I want it to be more of a proactive chapter or more of a reactive chapter. I often find that when I'm struggling to unblock my creativity, or when I'm feeling a little bit stuck with characters, where the chapter should go, certain subplots, then I always like to get a pen and paper. There's something about putting pen to paper that just really helps me unblock creatively, and it helps me see certain elements of the plot. It helps me think more deeply about my characters, think more deeply about where I want a certain chapter to go. There's something about bringing pen to paper that, yeah, just kind of really rejuvenates me, especially when I've been working for a long time on the laptop. I find that there's also a lot of freedom because you can draw, you can use diagrams, you can do a lot more when it's pen to paper. So this is a great tip if you're ever struggling with a plot, if you're struggling with characters, if you're struggling with how to start a chapter, start writing it out. Something about that process just really helps. So I'm going to have a little break now, and then I'm going to think through a little bit more about where I want this chapter to go. Truly is so amazing to be outside in nature. I often find that the moment I come outside, ground, journal, do some oracle cards, and honestly just bask in the beauty that is nature, that is the natural world. I feel so rejuvenated. And I often find that I'm so in my head a lot of the time, and when I just step outside and allow myself to immerse in nature's glory, I get so much perspective. And not only that, I just always feel held and safe when I'm in nature. Every time I come into nature, I feel like I'm a baby, and it's so beautiful just to lay on the grass and let her hold you. And sometimes I also like to envision all of the pain, all of the anguish, like any dark negative feelings that I'm experiencing, any hard emotions, any hard situation, and I have been going through a lot of that. I just like to envision her taking it all from me and kind of cleansing me, and I think that that is such a beautiful ritual. It's something so healing in just leaning on the power of the elements, the power of Mother Earth, knowing that she's always going to be here for you. We often think that we are separate from nature, but we're actually a part of nature. We are nature. So when we come back to her, we're also reminded of ourselves. She is a mirror for ourselves, and she holds so much space for us. And so I'm just really enjoying my time in nature, feeling so grounded and so rejuvenated as I spend time here, as I breathe in the fresh air, gaze up at the trees, write, touch the grass, grounding my energy and feeling so held. I am going to do my second writing session of the day, and then once I finish writing, I'll probably do some yoga just to stretch out my back. It's so important to look after your body, especially when you're writing. I often find that I'm quite like hunched over when I'm writing, and then my back really suffers. So I always love to accompany my writing times with also stretching and yoga, just so that I'm looking after my body. So I just finished my yoga practice and it was so lovely. Like I said, I often find that when I'm spending a lot of time writing, my back tends to suffer. And so I always think it's good to balance out long periods of writing with also nurturing your body. So whether that's going for a walk, stretching, doing your asana practice, whatever it is, I think that we work on a mind, body, soul level So to not ignore any part of that system. So looking after yourself on a spiritual level, but also nourishing your body, exercising, eating well, all that kind of stuff. All of that weaves into your creativity and your creative passions. Now I'm going to go and have a shower, and then I'm going to relax for the evening. I'll probably do a little bit more reading, maybe some journaling, but I'm going to take it super easy, and I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah.